do you often ask to, I guess, fix a campaign that it's gone?
I should say no to that, but we do, yeah.
It's gone. We think we got it right, and we're just not seeing the results.
Yeah.
The metrics aren't working. What's happening? Is there an element that either is in the wrong place, or the funnel's been just designed incorrectly? Are you often kind of surprised that here we are, and businesses are still trying to understand how that journey is built, or are they kind of not lost in the wilderness because they've been doing it for decades, but it's just a different environment now. It's a different beast.
So my background is predominantly media, although I have worked on, other sides and pure marketing as well.
Sure.
So I would say media is one of the more complex spaces.
Yes.
Creative and content, everybody's got an opinion. Media is fantastic because it's the numbers and you can see what's working, you see what isn't, if it's set up correctly. It also moves very quickly.
Yeah, speed. That's trying to be agile with this kind of stuff because wow, it moves at a fast pace, doesn't it?
It does, and you need to pivot. You need to see what's working. So it comes out to monitoring, reporting, checking what's working. So something that a client may have been doing last year and they repeat that campaign the following year may tank.
Wow.
So do we get asked to fix campaigns? I think I would rather say in that the one thing that we're proud of doing is having people that really understand the B2B environment.
Yep.
Because if you do that, then you can play within it and be a bit more creative and brainstorming. But you have to get the fundamentals right. And you have to understand the landscape of partners, technology partners, and media players that exist within that, particularly with the environment around privacy, the cookieless future,
that's coming,
walled gardens, and working closely together with the creative and the content teams to make sure that it's being done the correct way.
All those elements, it seems to me that's the foundations, isn't it? You get those building blocks, correct, and the house you build, the marketing house, is sound. It's at least it should be. I wanted to talk about also, I guess what's new in strategy. We're seeing a lot of meetings that be going on today in businesses talking about strategy and what does that mean? That mean for us now. Obviously, for this conversation, it's B2B, marketing. But also, I wanted to ask you about, how important is tethered branding to creating new strategies, but also that are absolutely measurable.
That's a great question. So we're very passionate about using tethered branding with the campaigns and this comes back to the environment that we find ourselves in at the moment. So it's a very timely question where we're moving towards a recession and every advertising dollar counts and is accessible right from the top. That's, they're really interested in it. So yes, companies still have to do brand, particularly if they're larger and they're in a hyper competitive space and they need to be known by their particular USP.
Sure.
Or if they are attempting to change and evolve their business for the future, whether that making more cloud-based or, becoming more dynamic. Yeah, brand is a really important role in B2B. But you can't just take X hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars, probably millions, and just spread that across traditional media and expect it to work. We're living in a fantastic world now. You can use biddable traditional channels, biddable TV, biddable audio, radio, podcasts, webinars, all this kind of thing. So they are attributable and you can look at using different audience data sets within them. So a lot of the brand campaigns now, yes, they're true brand, their reach and frequency given, but how do we then evolve that targeting DNA into account-based marketing as soon as possible? And account-based marketing, not just account-based targeting. So tethered branding to us is it's getting the impact of a brand campaign, it's getting those eyeballs and disrupting somebody's, opinion of a brand as much as possible. But it's then figuring out exactly what that's doing all the way down the funnel and how it's driving response at the bottom.
Are you seeing, brands always evolve. I think that's an absolute given. Their logo might stay the same, or they might change their color scheme or something. But a brand is a brand. At least I'm talking about the big boys, the ones that we all know.
The Oracles, the Ciscos, the Intels, the AWSs.
These sort of monoliths. But if you're maybe a smaller business, maybe middle tier, that kind of thing. Do you advocate sometimes an absolute paradigm shift in what they're doing, in their brand, in their messaging? because maybe the traditional market they've been in either has massively changed, evolved, or even doesn't exist anymore. So for them, I guess tethered branding, is that a different beast for them?
It is. I think it comes sort of more towards the mid funnel at that point.
That's why it's not the big boys, is it? It's not the micro, it's the guys in the middle, which I guess are the vast majority.
Yeah.
They're kind of thinking, well, do we pivot the brand? Do we literally start again? Because we have to, because our marketplace is now a very different thing.
Yes. I mean, I think that an opportunity to educate a potential customer on exactly what you do is the holy grail, really, particularly if you've got case studies or customer stories to back that up.
Indeed.
That's traditional marketing. That's nothing new.
Yeah.
But I think that the delivery mechanism and the way those stories are told is slightly different. And especially for mid-sized organizations, never underestimate the power of video and social and a really good SEO strategy. Yeah. And those things will hold you good, and perhaps strategic partnerships. Yep. But be really, really smart about where you're seeing the most sales. What kind of companies are buying the most of your products and services, and how do you model that out into a one to few ABM campaign? Are
you amazed that businesses still don't know that? That they must have the data, and they do have the data. So is it a lack of analysts? Is it a lack of foresight or lack of tools even?
I think it's ownership as well. I think it's ownership. Everybody's really busy.
Just grab the thing and just do something with it. So,
I'll ask sales.
We're sales, and the rest of the company's firefighting. So we just can't do that. But guys, that's the foundation.
That's what it is.
That's the data. That's the information that you're going to need for literally everything else is built on.
Yeah. I mean, but yes, say Dave, I mean, who isn't a victim of doing what's urgent instead of what's important?
Yeah, what's in front of you. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're not poo-pooing the businesses. So
no.
We understand firefighting and what's happening in the marketplace.
If you ask a salesperson at the moment, and I love the sales team, so again, this is Gnostic. If you're a salesperson at the moment, what are the kind of titles and businesses that are more likely to have a conversation with you than anybody else? Who is longest in your sales cycle? Because you don't want the people who immediately say yes, they'll say yes anyway. You don't want the people who immediately say no, not helpful. Who is the longest in conversation with you? Yeah. Who do you need the most support from marketing from? They'll say, I'll take any job title and any company that's coming in because they want the volume, right? And quite rightly they do. Indeed. So yes, I mean, getting that data can be a challenge, but then profiling it, lean on your agency to do that. Send over those target account lists, get them to do some of the heavy lifting and really figure out strategic recommendations. This is what we're really proud of doing. Should we be going after the retail vertical? Should we be ignoring FinServe? We know they're really important on the top line, but we literally don't have the products or the customer service to resource that. Sure. So, yeah.
I guess then another element, which we haven't touched on, is the P word, the personalization.
Right.
Because ultimately you are speaking to, I guess, a business, but within that business there will be someone that will sign the checks. That's going to buy something from you. I think you mentioned the disappearance of third-party cookies. Yeah. Now for marketers, I've read a couple of things. Marketers have just got to work a bit harder. Yeah, because you don't have that kind of data anymore. But
we all work very hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But that's going to kind of go away. But is anybody really running for the hills because of that? Are they that's going to be a massive issue for us? Personally, I think, it shouldn't be if you've done, again, the groundwork. That data is fantastic to have, but if you don't have that, you kind of ought to have a backup. Yeah. You should be able to gather that information in some other way. And I think the most successful campaigns and businesses can. They have that in place. But are you hearing that around there? What are we going to do? They're disappearing, and that's how we build our marketing campaigns. For heaven's sake, if it's gone, what are we going to do?
Do you know what? Probably not as much as we should be.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say not as much as they tell you.
People, here's the thing. Okay, here's the thing with the cookieless horizon. Is it really important? Yes. Are clients trying to self-serve? Yes. If they don't have a DMP or you don't have a unique identifier system built into your first-party data or clean room, get one. Yeah. Media partners. So you do have the walled gardens. Although with the fine for Meta recently around, opting consent within the terms and conditions, that's not going to play out anymore. So what does that mean? Not sure. So there's a lot of movement around, people who own that data, subscribers or LinkedIn, social, where people register and you say, yes, that is that person. I know who they are. That's a double down. Contextual placements are a double down. But most people are just waiting for the solution. And that's probably a way too candid answer, but that's what it is. Google doesn't have the solution. That's why they keep kicking the can down the road with the Chrome removal. I hope that one emerges. If not, I think we'll be back to sort of contextual, creative, social plays. We'll just go back a few years and then until that new thing does emerge.
You think that kind of data has made people a bit lazy? That a few years ago, maybe you weren't paying attention to that, or it wasn't there until it was available. Marketing was a slightly different thing. That just gave people the information. That's kind of personal stuff which didn't exist. It was like, hey, holy grail.
I think the thing that people are going to miss the most, right, is remarketing, retargeting, and re-engagement campaigns.
Remarketing, people are building, they've built houses on that, haven't they? Entire businesses and campaigns.
Yes, and it works really well, and it brings down the overall cost per. So it did brilliantly for your marketing KPIs as well, not necessarily business conversion KPIs, which where
we'll be clear about that.
Yeah. So now you're doing sequential content plays and that sort of thing instead of remarketing, because that just sort of doesn't exist anymore. So those things will be missed, certainly. However, in B2B specifically, audience cookie approaches, targeting segments, I don't think have ever been accurate.
Okay.
There's always been data bloat. Sure. I mean, programmatic was built as a consumer-based platform and solution to do cost-effective marketing at scale, and B2B is not an at-scale play. It's a specific play,
focused.
It is. Most people in programmatic B2B very unlikely to buy off-the-shelf custom data sets. You definitely don't want to do that. But if you do, you might find out that they think that there are 3 million C-suite executives in Germany. And you just think, it doesn't take a genius to look at that and say, well, there's not.
Clearly.
So it needs to be broader. So your business decision maker element. So will that be missing out? I don't know.
Okay. I think that's another conversation. Let's give it a while. Let's wait for it to happen, and then we can maybe reconvene, and we can probably talk at length just about that. And what the fallout.
To be honest, as well, the cookieless horizon has happened at exactly the same time as the privacy issue, and I think privacy is more urgent for clients to.
And it's no surprise where that's come from. It was kind of inevitable, I think, that something like that would happen, and here we are, and that's kind of the reality. I also wanted to ask you about communications. Marketing, I guess, that's what it is. It's communications, and normally one way. A marketing message goes to a business. You have a hope that you'll get the response that you're looking for, but I guess the level of communication, the level of contact that business can have with the people they're trying to market to is, I guess, it's unprecedented at the moment because of all the channels that you have to choose from. So are you finding the best support or the best performing businesses for marketing have solid two-way communication, that they are out there speaking to their client base? It's not a website, and if something happens, there's a customer service. They are actively, I guess, promoting a two-way conversation.
Yes, I think it's the quick answer. But I think it comes back to that previous point around how that user journey is owned by the prospect or the current client, depending whether they've converted or not and to closed one. Because they will tell you when they want to be contacted. Anybody in sales will tell you, you call at an inopportune time, or you don't want to spam people with CRM, send too many emails, they'll unsubscribe, you'll have opt-out issues. So two-way communication is important, but it has to be on their terms.
Yes, indeed.
And that's where marketing really comes into play further down the funnel than traditional, because there are now technology platforms that can help do that. That might be with a responsive website that they land on. It might be with an AI-driven chatbot where people can get questions really easily And then, yes, it might be having somebody really sensible to contact. And if it's a larger organization for a bigger buy, having that, very specially set up sales contact that owns the whole journey.
So do you think CRMs have to evolve? I guess the packages that we see today and the services and the features that they have served us well. They've given you, or at least the marketing team, the information that they need. Do we need to take a step further? They need to move forward into, I guess, this brave new world, which we are now entering. So the tool itself also has to evolve.
Yes, well, and I think that the way people set up and deploy the tool has to evolve. I mean, there's some fantastic technology platforms and tools out there, and they're not always deployed by experts.
Right on.
Because it's like a cart before the horse. The client will very rarely go, I know, I'm going to hire a Salesforce expert, and then I'm going to go and buy the platform. You end up getting trained by them, and you're trying to onboard it, and it has to be custom made and specific to your data.
Indeed.
So yeah, I think setups are becoming more serious. I think people are trimming down their platform choices. Better use one thing well than three things.
I've seen that time and time again. It does seem to me, in the tech space in particular, businesses are doing that. They're looking at everything that's in their tech stack, and it's that thing about trying to do more with less.
Yes.
Yeah, less complexity, less cost, less everything, frankly. But we still want to be able to evolve forward. We have this plan, and we have this journey. But how do you do that with less tech? Because it's become crazily over complicated and costly, and we just don't want to do that anymore. I think the savvy B2Bs are doing that right now today. That's what they're doing. What do we need to evolve our businesses? I guess to close. What's your key advice? I mean, I always try to sort of, when I'm doing podcasting, I like to close with that sort of, if someone had to did something, like listen to us, and go and get a cup of coffee. Do something practical today to move you along this this journey, at least in our conversation. Is there a piece of advice that go and do this today? If there's anything you ought to be doing, do this.
I would say that the two most important pieces of information for a marketer remain the same now as they have been before, which is who is the audience, who is the customer, and what do we want them to do? And I think sometimes one of those things gets forgotten, or one becomes more of a priority than the other when it shouldn't be. So if you're in an organization where you're driven by the numbers, for example, it's just about net new contacts in the database, it's just about the scale, it's just about hitting this one or two KPIs, my answer would be do some workshops on your audience and get a real understanding of what you can reasonably expect them to do, because then you'll see more success on the back end. And if you're very focused on audiences, KPI workshops are one of the best things we do to really understand what people should be doing. And that really then helps you ladder that back up through the organizations, set expectations at the beginning as to what you're trying to achieve, what is going to happen, and keep marketing as a very strong part of a business to drive that success for the next 1 to 3 years.
Well, many thanks for joining us today on this Silicon Insight. I'd like to thank Izzy for taking the time to join us today. Thanks for your insights. I'm sure our viewers will find that kind of fascinating, and also we hope that some practical advice there to take away with them. So again, thanks for joining us today. If you'd like to stay tuned to further Silicon Insights, please visit silicon.co.uk. I've been your host, David Hull, the editor-in-chief.